Legends of Ellaria is a game I have been wanting to review for years now, but wanted to give it more time before I decided to finally tackle it. It's an ambitious multi-genre title combining elements of action RPGs and real-time strategy games all set in a sandbox fantasy universe. You manage a kingdom and basically do whatever the hell you want. Looking at what Larkon Studios is trying to accomplish, this is one hell of an undertaking. Recently, they have released their huge world domination update, and this seemed like the perfect time to finally see if it's worth supporting. Is this an early access title to look out for, or is the scale of it all too much to handle? So you start off creating a character, which can either be male or female. Right now it's just a human male or a human female, but it looks like there may be options for more in the top left. Who knows about that? There's a good amount of options available for customization, so it's pretty cool. And the graphics are not too bad, especially for an early access title. The animation is stiff though. This is when you first will see it. You'll see more stiff animations in the combat and other things. But again, like I said, it's pretty forgivable for early access. So after you're done creating a character and naming them, instructions on what to do will pop up on the top right. This serves as a very basic tutorial and it's not very clear. A lot here you have to figure out on your own, and that's not the best first impression, especially for a game with so many elements. So the first thing the game will instruct you to do is to look at your character stats. You level up your base stats and your level of professions. So on the bottom left there's warrior, elemental mage, ranger, etc, etc. Then you apply points to the skill tree. And honestly, I do like the skill tree as you can unlock new spells and make your character more athletic. So there's actually trees to help your guy run like 10% faster or jump 10% higher, so you can make your person, feel like, like a faster person. So it's pretty cool. And when you acquire these skills, you need to meet certain requirements before you're able to unlock them. So it's pretty cool, and the effects are definitely noticeable. So the next thing you do is to look at the world, and it's designed as a hexagonal grid, so very similar to many 4X games, specifically Civilization. You move in real time with the pause and play buttons. You could also fast forward if you want. On the map, it features treasures to find and battles that can be automatically resolved or played out, so you can recruit troops from towns, you build buildings in towns, you can build roads, etc, just to kind of build your kingdom from this map. Unfortunately, some of the buttons don't feature any tooltips, nor seem to serve as a function at the moment, so I'm not sure if I'm pressing it wrong or what each button is supposed to do. Again, it stems to the tutorial issue that I mentioned before. So following the tutorial will lead you to an exploration opportunity for a treasure chest, and this will be your first taste of combat. It's pretty basic with stamina to manage. You use the left click to attack. Also, you can use magic as well, and there's a nice variety and feel for them. I really enjoy using the fireball against my enemies. Unfortunately, the melee combat, it just feels stiff. The hit detection is off, especially for certain enemies. As you can see here, certain enemies are just impossible to hit, like these giant ogres right here. I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. I mean, I've been able to hit smaller enemies, so I don't know where their hitbox is located. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I just can't seem to hit these big things. So in these chests and on enemies, you'll find some decent loot. One time I found a claymore that made me pretty much unstoppable. There's not a ton of items at the moment, but I definitely enjoyed what I found. If you end up encountering enemies on the map, it can lead to battles. As I mentioned before, these can be automatically resolved, or you can play them manually. Playing the battles reminded me a lot of Mountain Blade, so this is kind of like a fantasy version of Mountain Blade with the combat. However, it is hard to spot where the enemy originally starts. It's rarely straightforward as they spawn randomly. Sometimes I was facing the out of bounds and ended up just retreating from battle by accident. Sometimes they're right behind you, or they're to your left, to your right. It's very annoying. Rarely are they straightforward. I don't know why it's like that, but hopefully it can be addressed. Along with the standard third-person combat, you can also control the units RTS style. It's pretty basic at the moment, and it's not the smoothest experience. When you move the camera on the edge of the screen, it's very slow, and sometimes the clicks just do not register. Now, the RTS thing is not only for combat but also for kingdom management. So when you go into a town or any place, you can build a small amount of different buildings for your kingdom. Farms for food, houses needed for certain buildings, barracks to recruit soldiers, stuff like that. And there's so far only a handful of buildings at the moment, so you'll easily have all buildings in your town in less than an hour of play. Now, despite all the different concepts and elements introduced in this game, there's honestly not much to do right now, and this was hampered by the last update as quests were removed, but they plan to be reintroduced eventually. You can, I guess, make your own long-term goals because it is a sandbox adventure, but for the game being as unsteady and as incomplete as it is, there's a lot of discouragement to do that. So regarding the incomplete nature, one example I have is I found this tower that was guarded by monsters. So after I defeated the monsters, I went inside the tower to find what was there, and it was basically empty. It was incomplete. I was able to walk through the walls and the door like nothing, and as much as I do enjoy the exploring element of this game, you'll quickly reach the ceiling on what's out there. So I really hope that they can add a few more things just to keep me a little bit, more busy. Now, with this being an early access title, bugs are expected to be present, and there's a good amount of them. The biggest issue right now is the performance. There is just very poor optimization, even on my high-end system here, and just in high-end system in general. I can't even imagine if you have a mid to low tier option. I bet that you can't even run this game at all, or you'll be stuck at like 2 frames per second. It's ridiculous how badly optimized this game is. Now, if you do end up picking up this game, please save often. You never know when the game is going to crash, and because of this, I learned a valuable lesson. There is currently no autosave, which for a game of this size is a little ridiculous. So much respect to the developers. There is an easy way to send bug reports. You just press F8 and type in the issue. The screenshot is automatically sent over as well. So yeah, it's a great system to report bugs. The devs have been great people from what I've read. The community has always praised them, and even for negative reviews, they try to do the best to appease the customers. So I really appreciate, and they seem like pretty good guys. Maybe I can go out for lunch with them and we can kind of talk about the game and probably some suggestions on what they should do. Who knows? So right now, I'm just divided on this game. Like I said before, the developers are amazing people, and I would love to see their support. The concept is freaking amazing. I mean, a fantasy mountain blade, yes, like please give me. However, it's just full of bugs and glitches right now, tons of optimization issues, still missing features. It doesn't feel like it's that fleshed out, and after a few hours of play, you do run out of things to do. It's too frustrating to recommend at the current state, honestly. But support it in the future if the progress flows nicely. So if you see some good updates, and they have done patches fairly frequently. So if you see that, okay, now it looks like time they fixed a lot of issues that I mentioned, then it could be a good time to jump in. So if you want to get it now, this is going to be more of an investment on the concept in the future rather than the current build. I can recommend to at least follow the game and wishlist it. Thank you guys for watching. As always, apologies for all the schedule mishaps and just everything being delayed and stuff. But next week will be the review of Total Warhammer 2, so I am definitely looking forward to doing that. I hope you guys can join me there as well and show me some more support. I really appreciate all the views that you guys have been giving me, all the comments. Really appreciate that. The game suggestions, again, I appreciate it all, and I'm definitely blessed to have you guys. So thank you guys all for watching as always, and this is Powerhouse signing off.